And then, let's see, I tried to mute everybody, but I think everyone, I don't know if everyone is muted. So if you look down at your screen and you don't have the little microphone that's crossed out in red, go ahead. Oh wait, I can mute everybody. Okay. Again, all right. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay. You guys are awesome. Okay. So can everybody see the slides? Thumbs up for folks who have video on. Can you see my screen? Okay, awesome. Okay, so, all right, so welcome. We are here today because we all know that the world is weird. And no matter how weird you think you are, or you think your ideas might be, you know, I can guarantee you that there are people paying good cash money for all manner of weird things. And so I'm confident that we're going to be able to find, you know, something that fits you and all, you know, all the things that make you awesome. And B, you know, if we really looked, I'm sure we could find something weirder, not that there is a contest. So as I was saying before I started recording, just a few housekeeping things. You don't have to put your video off, but just try and stay muted so I don't get distracted, or that we don't have a lot of background noise. I just want to say at the beginning, while I am doing my version of it, the changing course method that we're going to be using as our guide today was created by my mentor Valerie Young and is used with permission. And I tried to make it pretty clear, like every time I'm going like into my own territory and when I'm using the changing course material, just to make sure I give proper credit. All my ideas and suggestions, this is my CYA, my cover my butt thing. All the ideas and suggestions are presented without any guarantee of actual income generation. You know, like I'm pretty sure we can find something for you, but I'm not guaranteeing. Also, please don't go quit your job. Um, like I don't want anyone saying, Kimberly said I should go quit my job. No, that's a really bad idea. It's good to have income coming in while you know you're getting off the ground, and so that's just another cover my butt thing. And then like I was saying, type questions into the chat, feel free to do that, and I'll get to them when we do exercises, and at the end we'll have a Q&A session as well. Okay, so what is Be Weird, Make Money? Because sometimes people say, you know, what does that even mean? It sounds cool, but what does that even mean? And so if you think about it like a spinning wheel, I'm just so proud of this cleverness of being able to spin the wheel. It's basically permission to dive deep into your interests, whatever they might be. It's the freedom and permission to have a lifestyle that you of your choosing, you know, basically getting to live the life you want, not the one you were told to want. It's also permission to live without harassment. You know, like I'm sure a lot of you may have been told at some point or another, like, oh, why can't you just grow up, or why can't you just settle down, or, you know, whatever. And, you know, in the Be Weird, Make Money world, you are welcome to be whoever you are and however you want to be, and no hiding. You know, I did this for years in my like other professional life. I'm a massage therapist, and for the beginning of my career, I spent a lot of time hiding who I was, because I was like, oh, you know, and there is a difference between, you know, like being professional and who you are at home and everything like that. But I mean, like I would go to work dressed in like pastel polo shirts and khakis and stuff like that, and it just felt like I was wearing a costume, and I didn't like it. And as I evolved myself and my style and stuff like that, I got more comfortable with not hiding. But it still sucks when you think you have to like totally hide who you are, just like especially in an area of your life where you're going to be spending a lot of time, like presumably where you're making money. Next up, you know, being weird and making money means having fun, getting paid to have fun more often than not. And, you know, it's, I've heard it said, you know, like, wait, you want to make money and enjoy life too? You know, what do you want, everything? Yes. There's almost no reason why those two things have to be mutually exclusive. You know, I don't want you to have to tone it down. That's a message I've gotten a lot in my life. Oh, Kimberly, tone it down, calm down, you know, and I don't want you to have to do that. I mean, if you don't want to. Again, you know, this is the time to like raise that freak flag high and just fly it loud and proud. Um, it's also getting to indulge your quirky genius. You know, I mean, there's so much genius in the world. I'm not sure how you guys found me, either through Changing Course or Barbara Sher or something else entirely, but something Barbara Sher always used to say that really resonated with me and made me want to do the work that I do is she's like, I'm out there to save geniuses. And that's my mission too, you know, because I see so many people like hiding and just dying on the vine, because they're not really owning who they are and living into it. And, you know, so it's like anything I can do to help do that, I want to do. And then, you know, even if this isn't to create a whole new job for you or a whole like full income for you, what if you just want to earn some money to support your hobbies? That's cool too. You know, I don't try to present ideas that, you know, make you feel like you have to be under pressure to, you know, do this and only this forever and all time. Speaking of which, um some more things about Be Weird Make Money. We're going to start today with the life first, work second approach. And that's something that is from Changing Course. And I just love this because so often when we talk about work, like there's just this assumption that you're going to work 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year, you know, 2 weeks off for vacation, occasionally weekends, you know, whatever. But I want to get you to think about what you want your life to look like first. Then we'll talk about the work stuff. Also, this hopefully will, you know, relieve some of the scanners in the room. There may not be the one thing that you want to do forever and always, you know, and that's okay too. I think also culturally we're conditioned to think, oh, we find the one thing and we just settle down, and that's just not always the case. Even when you find something that's really fun and that you love to do, maybe you don't want to do it all the time. Maybe you don't want to do it forever. There was somebody I read about, who made wooden bow ties, you know, and I think he put himself through college with it. It was just this really fun, quirky idea. And I was like, wait, wooden bow ties? Okay, you know, but he put himself through college with it. And when he got done with college, he was like, you know what? I think I'm kind of done with the bow ties too. And I think he sold his business to someone who was like, wow, I want to do this. And so, you know, it was great. So he didn't feel like he had to grind away at it. The next step is multiple streams of income. One thing I want to encourage you is always start with one, but always consider having multiple streams of income, because you never know what's going to take off first, or, you know, what things might be seasonal. You never know when one thing's going to dry up or change, you know, the market might change, the algorithms, if you're relying on online algorithms, they might change. And so it's good to have a couple of things as options. And they don't have to be totally different things. You know, I'll talk about how you can have one overarching idea and come up with different income streams within that idea. And then I want you to keep your options open. Again, like, part of the fun and the freedom and the permission is to not be tied down to something that no longer serves you. So just briefly, who am I? Hi, my name's Kimberly. Nice to meet you. And I am an author. I've written 2 books, Be Weird, Make Money, Halloween, which is pictured on the screen. Another book is just Be Weird, Make Money, Design a Life and a Living in a World Where You Don't Feel Like You Belong. And that's, you know, basically was the genesis of this workshop from a couple of years ago, and I've grown it since then. I'm also a Barbara Sher Success Teams leader, and I've done that since 2003, and I love it. I love, like I said, I love Barbara. I love her work, and she really inspired me to be who I am. You know, I told her once, I was like, I want to be you when I grow up. And she's like, well, I want you to be you when you grow up, but you can be as much like me as you want. And then I'm also, now this graphic is a little old. I'm a Profiting from Your Passions career consultant, but I think they've just changed that to a changing course consultant. But anyway, again, that's why I'm licensed and have permission to use the changing course method. All right, so with Be Weird, Make Money, one of the questions I like to start with is, where are you starting out? And I might actually have you guys put something in the chat about this. So are you totally fresh? You know, you heard about this workshop and you're like, wow, I've never really even thought of doing something by and for myself, but it sounds fun. You know, and that's what's so cool about that is this is as fresh and open as your eyes are ever going to be. And so there's a whole wide world of, you know, possibilities out there. You don't have any preconceived notions necessarily about what will or won't work or what it should look like or whatever. And that way you're likely to put things together in ways that are new and bold, and that's really cool. The challenge comes when, you know, you're overwhelmed by all the possibility and all the options that can be just overwhelming. So next up, do you kind of sort of have an idea? You know, you've been thinking about this, but you're like, I don't even know what it would look like or if people would even pay me. What's cool is there's a lot of possibility in that information, and there's a lot of good like possibility and information tucked into that little idea, and we can, you know, figure out how to grow it and figure out what it actually looks like, because sometimes people think, oh, you know, I have this idea so it should look like this, and maybe it doesn't, or maybe that's not the best fit for you. And so that's what we're going to be going through, is how to, you know, play with ideas and really personalize them for you. The challenge comes in the form of doubts, and sometimes it's the fear of making it real. Sometimes if you've thought about something for so long, the thought of it not working out is enough to just stop you, because you're like, you know what, I think I'm just going to stop and daydream a little bit. Or are you in the spot where you tried something but you got stuck, you know, and so it didn't work out, and you put it on the back burner? That's cool, that's totally fine. What is beautiful about that is that you have a lot of information. Even if it feels like it was a complete failure, you totally splatted in public, whatever, you know what doesn't work. And that is as important as knowing what will work. And so, you know, once you take that information, once you separate out the disappointment of, you know, like, gosh, this didn't work out the way I thought, you can say, okay, now I have an opportunity to start off better and know what doesn't work. So forget what you think you know about this, and you know, try looking at it through a variety of different lenses. Later on in the workshop, we're going to go through an exercise called the brain bubbling idea generators. And that's designed to kind of help you really stretch and pull ideas in different ways and look at it from different points of view to really, you know, make it, again, the best fit for you. Okay, so I know for a fact that I have some scanners on the call. If, if you're feeling alone, I am one. And so scanners, if you're unfamiliar with that term, is something that Barbara Sher talked about, and she coined the phrase. And it's basically people who have lots and lots of different interests. They're always very curious, they're very bright, and they're always trying new things. And it's very frustrating to people around them because, again, culturally, we've been conditioned to just settle down, just stick with one thing. But scanners, you know, you get curious about something, you want to check it out, and boom, you know, like you get what you need and then you leave, you know. And so for people who are like, no, can't you just follow through with anything? That's what I say. You know, no, you don't have to. And so, but for scanners, you feel like, Kimberly, getting one idea isn't the problem. It's that I have so many ideas. I feel like I can't choose just one. It's like trying to choose which kid to feed, you know? And so, and because you feel like if you say yes to one idea, you have to say no to all the others forever and always. And that's just not true either. And, you know, again, so just try and break through, you know, figuring out that, or, you know, getting the permission that it's okay to navigate life like that. And what's cool is, you know, with how I'm going to be teaching you to think about businesses today, or income generation, streams of income, whatever, is that it's not, you're not signing a 10-year lease on a building. You know, you can try something and, you know, maybe make some money with it and say, oh, that was fun, I don't need to do that again, and move on. That's okay. um so one of the best strengths that scanners have is a willingness to just try things and just, you know, kind of jump in and, you know, start from scratch with no regrets and just move along. And that's not something that a lot of people get to do, and, or, you know, take the option to do. So oh, I just saw some people enter. Let me rats. Sorry, let me open this up. I think I admitted them, but and I'll edit this out in post. Let's see. Let me stop sharing for 1 second so I can see who needs to be let in. Okay, I think everyone is in. Sorry about that, guys. Let me go back. Okay. So, moving on, is it that, you know, after scanners, is it you're starting your second life at any age, you know, and you feel like you've done, if not all the right things, you've done all the things you were told to do, and you're just deciding, you know what, now this is my time and I'm going to do what I want. And what's cool is, you know, you can, you've had the experience of life to know what works and what doesn't work for you. And, you know, hopefully you're at a point where, you know, the expectations of others don't have as strong a hold on you. And let me just see. Okay. And let me just open up the chat here for a second. Okay, cool. Sorry, there, I got distracted. Anyway, so I'm just really excited if you are starting your second life right now, and I'm really happy that you're here doing it with us. So, all right, so next up, what does your weird look like? And because, you know, when I started Be Weird Make Money, people are like, aren't people going to get offended if you call them weird? And I'm like, not my people, because they get it. And so is it how you want to look, how you want to present, that even in 2021 is deemed unprofessional and it's holding you back from making money? Is it what you love? You know, that, you know, it's like just a sampling of weird interests. Is it because you're really into your art, or Halloween, or Renaissance festivals, or, you know, gaming, or steampunk, or, you know, piecework, or innovation, and everything like that? And no one can really understand how or even why you'd want to make money with it. You know, it doesn't matter, because any of these things on the screen, they have industries behind them and someone is making money. I did an event about gaming last year, and the numbers of money flowing through gaming are so big, I couldn't even find numbers. It's just multi-billions and billions of dollars. And so why shouldn't you be making money with that? And so again, like, we're not here to please anybody else. You know, it's like, if you're, whatever you're into, let's, you know, and you want to make money with it, let's go for it. And last up, is it that you need and want a time and or location independent income stream? And so that is basically anything that you can do pretty much from anywhere, and that it almost doesn't matter when you're doing it. Because if you like to travel, if that's something you want to do, if you have wanderlust and you want to either support your wanderlust and or be able to make money while you're out and about, Or if you are a caregiver of someone who has health concerns, or if you are yourself living with health concerns and challenges that make it impossible to commit to a job because even though you're bright and talented, you don't know when you're going to feel well enough to work. So, we can help you create something of yours that you can have the final say of when you work and where. It can be from your bed at 2 in the morning, and you'll still be able to make money. And that's what's beautiful. So I just said a lot of words. All right. So starting with the Life First, Work Second approach to career planning, the changing course method, step 1 is know what you want. So let's talk about, what do you want your life to look like? And you may want to start taking some notes. If I'm going to give you some time to work on this, but you might want to jot down some notes while I'm talking after I take a sip of water. All right. So this big question, what do you want your life to look like? How many career counselors have ever asked you that? Because they just assume they know. Let's talk about your ideal day. All right. And so when you wake up, and I used to say, what time in the morning do you want to wake up? And somebody said, does it have to be morning? No, I guess not. Fair enough. So what time would you like to wake up? And then what do you see when you wake up? I have these pictures here, do you want to look out at the beach? Do you want to see a cityscape? Do you want to see, snow, farmland, open space? I picked a lot of these because this is what I'd like to see, not so much the cityscape, but just the nature. After you wake up, what do you want to do? Like, how do you want to start your day? Whenever that is, and is it with exercise? Is it with meditation? Do you want to play with your dog or your pets? Do you want to go to a coffee shop? Or are you like me and do you wake up and just want to get started? Because I wake up very early in the morning and I like to get started before anyone else has a chance to interrupt me. Because that's when my focus is best, it's when my energy is best. And while everyone is still sleeping, that's when I get my best work done. And so what does that look like for you? Next, what's your ideal work environment? Because, I'm talking about, what you want your life to look like. But an important question is, what, what's your natural habitat? Barbara Winters, another mentor of mine, she wrote the book, Making a Living Without a Job. And she talks about finding your natural habitat. And that's basically, where do you feel most comfortable and at home? Is it in a studio? Is it in a classroom, an office, on a boat, maybe a pirate ship? Is it backstage of a theater? Is it on stage? Is it in a kitchen? Like, do you really love to bake and cook and you just feel at home there? Is it outdoors? Are you an actual homebody? Has COVID-19 been the best thing that ever happened to you because you didn't ever have to leave your house? Is it in a barn, in the woods, at the beach? Where do you feel most at home? And then next up is, what's your work style? And again, a lot of people don't even think about this as a question, or not as a question, as an option. Like, oh, I get to choose. And so basically, who do you want to work with and why? Is it that you want to be all alone? Like, I'm Kimberly Inc., and because I don't I don't have to answer to anyone. I can work at my own pace. I don't have to worry about keeping up with someone or holding someone back. Or is it that you want to work with a partner because you like to have somebody to bounce your energy off of and ideas off of, and because maybe they have skills that you don't, and they like to do all the stuff you hate to do, and vice versa. And so as a team, you work really well and no one has to carry all the weight themselves. Or would you like to be part of a small team where you're all equals? And again, so it's like with the partner, but again, it's because you like kind of this group environment, the energy stays up better, you have fun, and it's again, you're like, oh, I'm getting paid to hang out with my friends. Yay. You know, like, how could that be better? Or is it that you want to be the leader, you know, you want to be the boss of a small group, because you just naturally rise into leadership position, and you know that you need support, you know, a support team, but you really want to be in charge. You really want this to be your thing. That's totally cool. Or is it kind of, you want to work mostly by yourself, but you don't want to have to do it all alone all the time. And so do you want to find partners and collaborators, you know, people who you work with, who do things that are complementary to what you do, but not the same. And, you know, people who, you know, have audiences, and we're going to talk more about this later, but people who have audiences that you want to get in front of, and vice versa. And so you can both help your audiences, and you do it better together, but you don't have to do it all the time. You know, maybe you get together for certain events or whatever. So there's that. So now, just a little talk about money, because we can't talk about work without talking about money. But again, and I know you're like, wait, Kimberly, you said we were talking about the life here. Basically, what's the amount of money that you think you'd need to get as much of this life that you're creating as possible, as soon as possible? You know, like what's that number? Because it's going to look different for everybody. I'm not saying, oh, you need to make 6 figures to have this. You know, it might just be, you know, a little bit to just bump you up to be able to, you know, get to the place where you can see the beach, you know, when you wake up and get to play on the beach sometimes. And so, you know, what do you want that average to be? You know, so I wrote this down, and this is going to sound really common, but I couldn't find anything better, so I apologize. But like, if you want to make $50,000 a year doing your thing, that is approximately $4,000 a month, about $1,000 a week, and $200 a day. And so, you know, if that helps you to frame it like that, try and use that as a math, you know, like as a thing. And, you know, something to think about, if you've always been an employee, something to consider as you start your journey into self-employment. If you want it to become your sole thing, just think about, are you ready to learn to be okay with uncertainty? Because something I can tell you, as being a self-employed person for the last 25 years, there are quiet times when you're like, where did the money go? How am I going to be able to pay the rent? And you'll always be able to figure it out, but just, are you going to be okay with that uncertainty? You know, and just to think about that. And like I said before, don't quit your job unless it's truly toxic. You know, just think of it as your business loan. You know, and then maybe that can help you reframe going to work. You're like, oh, I'm gonna work on my business loan today, and just know that if you have something to come home to that's yours, you know, you're likely to be able to get through your workday a lot better. And again, we'll talk about the whole like toxic job, good enough job thing later on. But just thinking about, you know, like, do you even need to work full time to, you know, make your bills if you're having money coming in from your side project as well? So just think about that. And there's no one right answer. And so, but I just wanted to put it out there. And so, you know, I'm all about being weird, but secretly I'm pretty real about expectations. So no matter what you come up with, it's not likely to be able to replace an income, like a full-time income right away. And maybe not ever at all. And so, you know, but just think about what you'd love, you know, like I do like to just put in the realism thing there for a minute, just again, to cover my butt. But that being said, this is dream time. This is fantasy time, because I want you to be able to picture what you want your life to look like. You know, and an example I have, oops, I already did that one. Let me go back here. An example I have is that I talked with someone once who read tarot cards, and she was like, yeah, but I only want to work two to 3 days a week, but I want to make 6-figure income. And I was like, Okay. Challenge accepted. And so that's not entirely realistic, but it's not entirely impossible either. And so what that might look like is that she might have a membership site where people are paying her money on a regular basis to get information, either readings or information about tarot cards, or how, you know, the tarot cards are relating to what's going on in the world, maybe like a daily reading or something like that, just a general reading, not a personal reading. She might be a tarot reader to the stars, to celebrities. You know, like, can you imagine if some reality show hired a tarot card reader, you know, to come on for every episode? You know, there's the Kardashians getting their tarot reading, you know. Wow, I knew a pop culture reference. That's kind of crazy. Anyway, now someone I know of who's in a business group with me is called Biddy Tarot, and she is making bank. She's making a lot of money doing tarot. But here's how she does it. And so here's the first example I'm going to give you about how you can take one thing, tarot, reading tarot cards or whatever, and stretch that out to be a bunch of different income streams. So she has products. She's designed her own card decks, and she also has her own journals based on her brand. She services, she does readings, she does trainings on like how to read your own cards and how to become a tarot reader. She also has information products. So, you know, it's she does a lot of Pinterest posts that she has affiliate links to buy her products and her training, right? She has, like I said, the self-study program and the Become Like Me. So she's training people to read tarot cards in the way that she has developed, like in her own method. She I think she does mail order, and that's selling things at a distance. And I think she has an Etsy shop, so where she sells her stuff outside of her affiliate links. She has an Etsy shop where you can go in and buy her excuse me, her cards, her journals. I think she probably has some other products in there. Um, Landlording. She rents out her intellectual property in the form of, you know, a franchise. She also has a membership community. Again, you know, like I was saying, people sign up and pay her every month for like inside information, stuff that she doesn't publish to the public. Um, I don't know if she does this, but she might have like a bricks and mortar presence, meaning that she goes places to read cards, either conventions or a storefront or something like that. I don't know if she has, I think she has a blog, but you know, entertainment and performance is another way that you can make money. And so she has the blog. You could have a podcast, you know, again, all about, or a YouTube channel all about tarot. So again, so you see it's like an umbrella of things that each one is going to be bringing in money here and there, and all together it creates a wonderful income for her. So whew. All right. So I'm going to set you guys free to do an exercise soon. And so think about, you know, what time in your ideal day do you begin working? And, you know, again, you don't have to grind all day long. And would you prefer to work intensely for long periods of time and then take extended time off? You know, like, do you want to work 6 months a year and make enough money to be able to either, you know, stay at home or travel for the other 6 months? Um, what kinds of things would you enjoy most spending your work time doing? And again, this is something you're probably going to want to think about like after this exercise, but just keep it in the back of your mind. You know, like, do you want to be researching? Do you want to actually be working with people? Do you actually, you know, like, do you want to be with your literal hands in the clay working on stuff? Do you want to be creating content? That sort of thing. And then how does your ideal day wind down? You know, and again, just think about it, you know, like, okay, you've been working, and then what do you want to do? Do you want to have, you know, dinner with friends or family? Do you want to just be able to chill out with Netflix and just kind of binge watch the next best show, all of which is fine? Or, you know, do you want to read? Do you want to be able to take a bubble bath? I don't know. It's your ideal day. You know, and then think about which 3 elements absolutely, positively must be in your life? And that's like, that could be what you see when you wake up. That could be, you know, your being able to work in your natural habitat. That could be the work style, being able to have, you know, the work environment that you want with the people that you want. All right. Um, and then I'm going to throw this monkey wrench in there because I just want to see if you're paying attention. Um, so, what's more important if you absolutely had to choose? That you get a life as close to what you're thinking of, but it means that your work might be ho-hum, meaning like you get to live at the beach, but you're selling popsicles instead of your art necessarily, you know, or that you get to do the work you love, but the lifestyle might not be what you prefer. And so for me, what that might look like is I get to do Be Weird Make Money full time, but I'd have to live in the city, which for me is something that would be less than ideal. And so, but if I could enjoy myself with Be Weird Make Money, I might not mind being in the city because I could get away. All right, so exercise time. I've been talking for a long time and I am going to turn off my camera and set a timer for 10 minutes for you to be able to brainstorm the elements of your ideal day. And maybe what I'll do is I'll put this back up to prompt you, you know, like when do you want to wake up? What do you see? How do you start your day? Your ideal work environment, your work style, and, you know, is there travel involved? Which I didn't talk about, sorry, whoops. Anyway, so take about 10 minutes, and then when we come back, I'm just curious to hear what some of the things that you guys came up with. All right, so I'm gonna set the timer, turn off my camera, and then when you see me in the playhouse again is when we'll be able to play. All right.